Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole if you are new. If not, welcome back. So today it is 102 degrees outside, and inside my house it says it's about 89 degrees. When it is like this, I don't do anything. I can't, it's too hot, and I usually just try to stay cool as much as possible, running my fans and everything. But I still have the urge to be a little productive. So I thought today was a great day to make some miniatures. And I'm gonna do a theme today, and I'm sure you can guess what it is just based on my outfit. I'm wearing the appropriate t-shirt and hat. We are making Disney snacks today, the core snacks. I kind of picked the ones that I personally like. Of course, there's way more snacks that they have. But also, I am not a professional miniaturist by any means. I'm actually still kind of learning. So everything I make on this channel is just kind of well, we'll see how it turns out. Anyways, I would love though to make miniatures with you. We can see how it turns out. Hopefully great, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to also practice making miniatures. I love making miniature food too. I find that to be one of the easiest things to learn how to make. But anyways, I'm going to go to my craft table and we will get started right now. So the first miniature I'd like to try to make is the Mickey ice cream bar, just because I feel like that one could be possibly easier. And I only need 2 colors of clay. I'm going to use the white and this darker brown. And then for the popsicle stick, I'm going to use one of my very thin coffee stir sticks that I have, and see if I can possibly cut that down to be obviously a smaller popsicle stick. But right now I'm going to try to soften up my clay, and then we'll go ahead and start molding the ice cream bar. So I have my clay softened, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to first mold out the Mickey ice cream in white. That way, if I do decide that I want to like a little bite off the Mickey ear, you could see the white ice cream in the center. And even if I decide not to, it's okay. This was at least a good way to kind of mold what I want and know the size of the ice cream. So I'm going to go ahead and do some kind of like practice Mickey shapes and see which one I like better. So this is kind of like a rough, a rough idea, but the shape kind of represents this a little more than this. And I'll show you guys a picture again of the shape. And I think once I put the chocolate, meaning this, over it, it will actually look more like the ice cream. But I think it's because the shape has more of like the sides kind of have an indent and the ears aren't small, versus this one, it's not so much. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm thinking it's more like this guy. And of course, I can always do another one. Okay, so I'll be honest, I'm not hating this. I'm not hating this at all. The only thing I don't like about it is this ear in particular. It just doesn't match up with this ear. With that said, I thought maybe I should do the bite off the Mickey ear on here. It's always nerve-wracking when you want to try something and you're like, oh, is that going to look bad or not? But I think in this situation, since I already dislike the unevenness of the ears, I think I'm going to try to do a little bite mark coming out of that ice cream. And then after, I'm going to try to cut this piece of wood and try to make a small little popsicle stick right in there. And then we'll go ahead and bake it. So now that I finished the adorable ice cream, I'm going to now work on the churros. I think I'm going to do like 2 churros because that's what usually is given at Disney. Churros should be kind of easy because they're just long pieces. And I'm using like a more tan colored clay. I kind of want it to be, yeah, that would be like a similar scale. Yeah, perfect. And they're long in our human hands, so they don't need to be super, super tiny. But we definitely need to add the texture of a churro. So that's where the tricky part is. I gotta figure out how I wanna do that part. Maybe like that. And then just go all around. So I do have some sand, like white sand, that I'm gonna put on top of these churros to make it look like they have sugar on top of them. I also have this small piece of parchment that I'm gonna kind of cut into a square, because when they do hand them to you at the park, there's usually like some paper. And I think what I'll do is once I bake this, I'm gonna glue this on to the churro. Don't know necessarily how yet, but probably like just kind of like that. I'll probably cut some more, but just kind of have it more wrapped around it. And to get the sugar on, I think I'm gonna use this. I'm just gonna brush a little bit on and then sprinkle the sand on top to make it look like churros. This is the best I can do. It's not perfect, but I don't know if you guys can really see the lines, but it was kind of tricky. But it does its job. I think once I put the sugar on it, you'll tell it's like a churro. But I'm going to put that aside for now and go get the sand. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a little bit of sand right here that will act as the sugar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little droplet in here. I'm not going to mix them together. I just kind of want to use the same container. And then, where is it? I'm gonna use my, cheap paintbrush and brush the liquid on top and then sprinkle the sand. So next I'm going to do the pretzel, and I think I'm going to use the same tan clay, but add a little yellow to it to kind of, let's not get too much, do this much, just to give it a little bit of a different variation from the churro. And so I'm going to like start mixing, and then once I get the color that I like, we'll begin molding the pretzel. And I'm probably going to do the same thing as I did the churro, where I use the Fimo liquid and then and the sand to kind of mimic salt. So I have to admit, I had to take a pause from filming because I had to look up what the face looked like on the pretzel. Pretzel's actually pretty complicated, and I wanted to make sure I had the face right, even though I don't even know if I do have the face right. There's just so many layers to the pretzel, and I'm hoping when I turn this around, okay, that looks a little better. It's not perfect, but man, that one's hard. That's for intermediate. And the thing is I've said this before, I am not like a miniature expert by all means. There are so many people out there who are so good at this. And I'm just doing this like as like a quick thing, like a little hobby. But obviously if I was trying to sell these, or when you go to those miniature conventions, I wouldn't be selling this. Nobody would probably want it, but yeah, that's tricky. Mickey pretzel, very hard, very hard. Let's see if I can get this more even. There we go. Yeah, there's some areas that I have a little thicker clay. You know what? Let's get innovative. I'm going to use this guy here. Just kind of push these together. Dang, this is hard. That's why I say, like, people who do this for a living, this is art. It's not easy. I've always gained a bigger appreciation for this kind of stuff. Looks more like a bear or a raccoon. Yeah, looks kind of creepy, huh? Let's see this side. Yeah, not any better. I think I'm going to use this side. Alright, well, this is as good as it's going to get. I honestly would think this would be so hard to do even smaller, you know what I mean? Like making it super small. I had to kind of make it big in order for me to successfully get the shape I wanted. But I'm going to go ahead and brush this around. Maybe if I put the sand on, it will help make it look more like a pretzel. cover up my little imperfections. I really want this super salty, so I'm gonna put a good amount of sand on there. And then just like the churros, I'm gonna have another piece of parchment. I'll probably cut a little smaller and have it just like holding the pretzel. That actually doesn't look too bad. It could be worse. Now it's about lifting it. There we go. And then I'll just have to bake it. That's so funny. Hey, you don't know until you try. And I hope it's not too late, but I wanted to use, oops, it's coming out. I wanted to use some pastel to add a little bit of, I don't want to say burnt, but like cooked edges to the pretzel. I don't know if that's going to be too dark. I think I'm going to do I want that one or this one? That might be better actually. Let's see. And I know my paintbrush is a little wet, but that's all right. I just wanted to add a little bit like it was cooked, you know? And hopefully it comes out. There we go. That way it doesn't look so flat. There we go. When I have these baked, I'll give you guys a closer look. That's much better. Kind of gives it a little bit more dimension, like it was a cooked pretzel. There we go. Cool. It's hard to tell in the video, but I'll show you in better lighting. Now I think I'm going to do 2 more snacks that are on a stick, just so I can use up a little bit more of this. Like I already have this one ready to go. I think I'm going to do a Tigger's tail. If you guys don't know what a Tigger tail is a marshmallow covered in chocolate, or I think it's first covered in caramel, then covered in chocolate. But the Tigger tail is like an orange chocolate, so it's much different than the other version, which is just caramel and chocolate. I love Tigger tails. You get them in Pooh's Corner, right next to Splash Mountain. So I'm going to go ahead and soften the orange clay. And then this one will be really quick. I'm going to quickly get the shape of a Tigger tail and then use this stick at the end of it. I think that would look so cute and fun. And then for this guy that I already kind of have ready, I think I'm actually going to turn him into a Mickey caramel apple. So stay tuned once I get this softened. So that was pretty much a ticker tail. A ticker tail is really easy. I think I'm just gonna make one. Now I think I'm gonna turn this into a caramel apple. A lot of their caramel apples have chocolate covering them, along with caramel, obviously. So I think I'm gonna do this one as the traditional Mickey caramel apple. So almost done with this guy. I have red clay, white clay, so I'm going to use this red to kind of put like half of the apple, so like to make his little pants. Oh wait, maybe I have to look. I think I was going to use white as the buttons, but now I'm like, are the buttons yellow? I'll have to double check. And then I'll use this stick here to kind of put right on top, and then we got a Mickey caramel apple. Now I did see that the Mickey one has 2 yellow M&M buttons on his trousers. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on. That might be a little big. Hold on. Minnie Mouse is the one who has the white M&Ms, which makes sense. I had a feeling it was yellow though. All right, so there's 1. 2. There's like this little spot on here that's gonna drive me nuts. There we go. And then last but not least, we gotta put the little stick on top to make it truly a caramel apple. Get it nice and snug in there. And there you have it. Look how cute that is. That's so cute. All right, he's gonna go on the baking sheet. Now it wouldn't be a Disney snack if I didn't have a Dole Whip. The only issue is the cups that I have that are miniature are plastic. So I really don't want to put, obviously, plastic in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually make the Dole Whip, like I'm going to make the whip piece and bake that. And then what I could do is just put that little piece on any kind of cup that I have in my miniature collection. Thing about Dole Whip though is it is a very light yellow, and so I have to mix up a lot of white into this bright yellow in order to get the color that I need. And I know there's Dole Whip in a cup and then there's Dole Whip floats. I believe the Dole Whip floats, they do put like a maraschino cherry on top, and if you get like a regular Dole Whip, they don't tend to put the cherry on top. But to make it a little bit more special, I'm just gonna put the maraschino cherry right on top. It's still not there. I think I have to use all my white. Now to finish it all off, I'm going to put them in the oven, let them harden, and then I'll show you them all together finished. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, I am not a professional miniaturist by any means. I did just kind of wing it, but I was pleasantly surprised with how it turned out. And it's kind of inspired me to try more things, you know, especially the food. I feel like making miniature food is a really easy way to start. So if you want to try to make miniatures, start with food. Also, if you enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do miniature stuff occasionally. I love going to miniature conventions. I do like making them, but mainly I love seeing other creations by miniaturists. Also, my mom's a miniaturist, so anytime I visit her, I love to see what's new in her collection or her dollhouse. I did do a dollhouse tour of hers during the holiday time. If you have not seen that video, please go check it out on my channel. It's wonderful. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.